There are many viable places to farm Holiday Scorched in 2020, but what are the best places exactly? Well, let me show you my top 10. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. In this guide, I'm going to show you some of the best places to farm Holiday Scorched, a seasonal event which is only live once a year. Bethesda enabled it on December 17 and it's going to run until the end of the year, pretty much. Which means you have plenty of time to farm and get all the new rewards. There are quite a few, and I will give you a small preview at the end of this video in case you are curious and you haven't gotten them yet. Also, I'm leaving the link to the datamine document with all the drop rates below the video. Now, let me show you where to head in order to farm lots of Holiday Scorched. Let's do this. Okay, now before we go any further, let me share two really important things you should know. First of all, Holiday Scorched cannot spawn inside interiors or instanced locations anymore, unlike it happened in 2019. So, locations like the glassed cavern are a no-go now. The second point is about a new bug with the alert sounds. It's not triggering all the time. In fact, the Holiday Scorched can sometimes get frozen or they take a long time to wake up. When that happens, the sound will not trigger at all, or it will play only when you are basically face checking them. Just like these two examples I added here. This means you need to check locations carefully if you don't want to miss anything. Relying just on the alert sound is not very reliable anymore. Anyway, moving forward, I created this route map featuring 20 locations with fixed spawns for Scorched, which means Holiday Scorched can spawn there, but not every single place has a great chance to spawn them, as to be expected. As such, and based on my experience, I decided to make a top 10 video with the very best locations with the highest spawn rates to help you farm them better. So let's get into it. At the top of the list, I have the event A Collision Course at the Morgantown Airport. This event can be started by players and it has 1 hour cooldown, give or take. This means you can simply serve a jump and do this event endlessly. Why should you farm it though? Well, the event spawns Scorched waves and usually you can find 2 to 7 Holiday Scorched per event. I actually had one of these super lucky events while live streaming. They just kept spawning and spawning. It was crazy. If you are super lucky, you're basically farming a dozen of gifts in just a few minutes. It's really random, but this event is reliable and it can be completed in a few minutes, as I said. At least the wave parts. So make sure to do it plenty of times if you want to easily and quickly farm gifts. Plus, you get all sorts of extra rewards for doing the event, so it's an absolute win to come here and get the event going. The second entry in my list is also not a location exactly, it includes several of them. Fissure Sites are probably the best way to farm Holiday Scorched, but they can be quite unreliable. That's why they are not at the top of the list, at least on my experience. There are many Fissure Sites across the map, but my favorite one is this one close to the Animal Cave. There's plenty of ultrasite veins there, and that's exactly what you need. I'm also leaving a link to Fallout Wikipedia with all the Fissure Sites in-game, if you're not sure where to go. Now, every time you gather a vein, there is a chance for a Scorched wave to spawn, and with it, a high chance for Holiday Scorched to spawn as well. This is a beautiful way to farm lots of experience and holiday gifts at the same time. I usually find 2 to 3 Holiday Scorched per fissure, but sometimes I find just 1 or none at all. But then there are also these luck strike moments like it happened in this run. 3 Holiday Scorched spawn from 2 consecutive gathers alone. That was some insane luck. I had never seen such a thing before on my end, but it proves that multiple Holiday Scorched can spawn at once. One last note here, the ultrasite veins take forever to respawn, so you need to server jump for this strategy to be effective. I mean, if you are doing this only, if you are farming fissures and locations at the same time, then you will most likely find a balance while server jumping. You don't have to do it all the time, but still, just to remind you that the ultrasite veins don't respawn that easily. Alright, the next awesome place is at the Morgantown Airport. This run is relatively short, but make sure to check both front and backyards, including the tower. Ignore the airport interior though. Holiday Scorched can spawn all over the place, less inside the building, and normally you will come across 2 or 3 of them per run. However, finding 4 is not impossible at all. It happened to me a couple of times already, and I haven't even tested this location very much. This was one of my top locations last year, and in 2020 it's still one of the best. Actually, you should check this location first before you go ahead and do the collision course event. It's like merging convenience with efficacy, and you really want to do that when it comes to farming. Just saying. The fourth location is Helvetia. This town is filled with Scorched, and holiday enemies often spawn here as well. I know the town itself is quite large, there are many houses to check, and with the sound bug you might end up missing a few unless you check every single house inside out. Still, this is a very reliable location. I normally find 2 of them per run, sometimes even 3, but that's not so common. Finding just 1 is also not very common. Moreover, the Holiday Scorched tend to spawn in the main street houses, such as the church, mill house, hotel, and the restaurant. Sure, they can also spawn in the back houses, but that doesn't happen as often. This info should make your Helvetia runs a bit shorter, at least I hope so. Next we have Bolton Greens, one of my favorite locations because it's simply a really quick run. I normally start by going to the roof to check if the alert sounds trigger. Usually there are 2 inside the building, but you can also find 3 at once, like this run. This location is really reliable on my end, and since it's a vertical place, it's very easy and quick to check everything. Now, the Holiday Scorched can occasionally spawn in the golf camps, and that would take a while to check every run, but don't worry, I have a trick for this part to make it quickly. Just spawn your VATs into all directions and check the Scorched names. If no holiday comes up, it's safe to move to the next location. Moving south, we have the Camden Park, another wonderful location to speed up your farming. This run is also a short one. I usually start from the left side near the gift shop, where you can usually find 1 or 2 Holiday Scorched there. Then I make my way towards the food area, where you can find another one. Occasionally, they can spawn between the 2 areas at a roller coaster entrance, so you might want to check it there too. My average findings at this park is 1 to 2 Holiday Scorched, but every now and then I get lucky and find 3 at once, just like it happened here. Now, let's go to the very north of the map. At the Wavy Willard's water park, you can also find 1 to 3 Holiday Scorched per run. But this is a very long run, it's also slow. This place is massive and Scorched can literally spawn anywhere, even in the underground rooms or at the edges of the park. I've seen a lot of frozen holiday enemies in this location, which means if I don't visually spot them, I will surely miss them since there is no alert sound. I highly advise you to do a full run in a circle around the edges of the park and then slowly move towards the middle, the center. That's the quickest way to ensure you don't miss anything. Either way, this place is still very reliable despite being a long run. Moving forward, we have the Poseidon energy plant. This used to be one of my favorite locations last year at the very top. I would often find 2 to 4 Holiday Scorched here, but in 2020 It's not exactly the same. I'm not sure why, if it's just bad luck on my end or if Bethesda reduced the Holiday Scorched spawn rate here, but one thing is for sure, I'm finding way less holiday enemies here. My average has been 1 or 2 per run and that's it. I know finding 3 or 4 is still possible, a few friends of mine told me so, but for me, that hasn't been happening, not at all. That's the reason I added it so low in my top 10 list. Anyway, this is a quite long run as well, and the holiday mobs usually spawn on the roof or in the front yard. Despite my apparent bad luck, the Poseidon plan is still a fine location and you should definitely farm it. Hopefully with a better luck than mine though. The 9th location of election in my top 10 is Mosstown. This location is a super quick run and you can usually find one Holiday Scorch here about 80% of the time. It's like a free gift every time you come here. But wait, there is more. There is a Fissure Site a few steps away from Mosstown, so make sure to go there and collect the ultracite veins. You know what to do. I usually find 2 to 3 Holiday Scorched in this location alone by doing both things. First checking the Mosstown houses and then farming the nearby fissure. You can always just grab the holiday sir at Mosstown and move along, but since you are already there, I think it's wise to just optimize the run and get the most possible out of it. But that's just my opinion. At the bottom of the list we have the Pleasant Valley Ski Resort. This location provides a very fast run too, and you can often find 1 to 2 Holiday Scorched per visit. Normally one spawns on the wooden towers and barricades, then another one is often inside the resort building. These are my usually spawns, but there are a few more, so make sure to use your VATS and check the enemies around you, or simply kill everything. That's also a great and safe approach. I mean, it would be a shame to miss the holiday ones in such a small location. Don't you think so? Well, now let me remind you about the Santatron Scavenging Bot. With so many different bots we have right now, it's not difficult to forget it even exists. I actually did it in the first day. Make sure to have it at your camp and workshops to farm lots of holiday gifts. Passively on top of that. You just have to play and your bot is getting free gifts for you. You can usually get 3 to 5 per hour per bot. And that's a beautiful thing. It's such a waste of resources not to use this bot right now if you're going to play on the same server for hours. In fact, a few people I know have been farming passively on their private servers and generating dozens of gifts per hour just by using this resource on workshops. So please don't disregard the Santatron bot. It's a real farming prodigy. Okay, now to finish, let me show you the new rewards for the Holiday Scorched 2020. There are 10 of them to be exact, and as I mentioned in the intro, I'm leaving the link to the datamine doc below the video with all the possible loot and respective drop rates. Anyway, one of the first items I got was the mole rat wine chime made of its bones, placed on a wooden frame with some unique noises. I think it has its charm for sure. The next new item is the Brahmin plushie, which is absolutely cute. As I said in my live stream before, it's blue with 2 heads and each head has a different emote. So cute. There is also the Princess Castle pink sleeping bag, which looks like this. It's a night cartoon scene with a huge moon and a princess who looks very much like Rapunzel, by the way, on a pink bed, which is an existing Atomic Shop item in case you didn't know. If you have no use for sleeping bags like me, well, you can always use them as blankets for placed beds. I think that's pretty creative. Now, there is also the Musket Monument, which is quite tall, made of stone, and it's related to the Civil War in-game. It looks the same front and back, and that's really about it. I have nothing else to say here. There's also a new yellow sign, which looks, quite boring. It's not very interesting. It's another no trespassing sort of sign. At least the red truck ceiling light looks a bit more interesting with these mini truck holding lights, which kind of look like candles. It's a very cute item as well and one of a kind in the lights section. Now moving to the outfits, we have the Jaguar pantsuit first with, guess what, a jaguar pattern in black and yellow basically. It's a pretty unique suit so far. I don't think we have anything alike, so at least there's that. The next new outfit is the tulip sky blue pantsuit with this cyan color and red tulips all over the suit and an orange tie. The suit is quite dirty though for some reason. Lastly, we have the Communist Commander outfit and hat. They are two separate entries, and well, what can I say? It's a typical Chinese communist uniform from the Fallout series. You can roleplay it very accurately now. Actually, the uniform doesn't look that bad. I've seen far worse. Let's put it that way. That's pretty much all you can get regarding new rewards in 2020 and the Holiday Scorched. I hope I could help you improve your farming strategy with my top 10 locations to farm Holiday Scorched in 2020. Things have changed a little bit in comparison with last year, but not that much. Apart from the new interior rule and the 10 new rewards, things are basically the same. Anyway, that's it for this video. Don't forget I'm live streaming for charity again tomorrow, December 20. The first session went really well. It surpassed all my expectations. You guys are wonderful. We actually raised almost 2,000 euros for St. Jude, and I can't thank you enough for that, guys. You are wonderful. There will be more special panels and giveaways, so make sure to show up tomorrow. Now, if you enjoyed this guide, feel free to leave a like and comment below. You can always support me further if you wish as well. The links are always below the video. Now, it's time to wrap things up. I will see you all very soon, tomorrow live or in the next video. Until then, take care, adios, bye bye.